If you really don't trust me, come with a real. You here been a front seat, get my meals, I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come with a dank, skrilling in a tank, rolling with the gang. You sick and I on the sideline tripping, I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though? Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy, Eazy, joined by my man, Spinmo Rex.
What up, though?
We got Young Sus, the TD Move, and JB Smooth, and 1 to 2s. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button. And be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream, tell them it's the most lit Detroit sports show in town. On God.
On God.
On the internet.
On the sun God.
On the sun God. I swear I'm on Ra. That's crazy. That's an actual like God's name. That's sick. What do you name your first son?
Vincent.
Vincent Van Gogh?
No.
The second?
No.
Vince Vaughn?
No.
Vince?
Just Vincent.
From your grandpa?
No. I just like the name.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Was it from a comic book though? Yeah, just admit it. Say it for other people.
Yeah. Vincent Von Doom, man.
Vincent Von Doom. Why again?
Dr. Doom.
Is he like that cold?
Yeah, he's the coldest villain in the history of Marvel.
Isn't he like just a human with like metal hand?
No. He's not.
Lay it on. Let's tell us.
No, that's disrespect. You gotta go do your own research.
No, you're naming your kid this guy.
Yeah.
I gotta know what like.
No,
what,
you can go do your
what
own
makes
research.
him like? I know he did the new Marvel series actually. They're basing it around Kang.
Yeah.
But in the comics, it was Doom that made the Secret War.
Yes.
Okay, but what powers does he have is what I'm asking.
He's one of the smartest, if not the smartest character in Marvel. He's got a lot of different powers, like controlling electricity, different stuff like that. He's just an overall savage. There's a lot of different, I don't know how you say the right word, different levels of Marvel where he's a god in some of them. Dude's a total savage.
Well, Vincent Von Doom, good for you, man. Superpower is being a savage. Thursday Night Football is on Prime time, or I'm sorry, Amazon Prime tonight.
Yes.
So like,
you gotta have Prime if you want to watch it.
Now what about bars and stuff though?
If they don't got Prime, they ain't playing that shit.
Yeah. Is that JB? Are you up on that at all? Like a bar's not gonna be playing Thursday Night Football tonight?
Oh, I don't know if bars aren't going to be playing it, but you would imagine like one of the owners has to at least have Amazon Prime. I mean, I know I'm probably the odd one out that doesn't, but still, like I can bum it off one of my friends, you know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're telling me nobody on that staff has Amazon Prime? Like, come on, somebody has it, and then you finesse the login. I feel like that's easier to get than a UFC pay-per-view. I mean, obviously you do it.
Sure.
Well, I was just gonna say they have. It's like so pay-per-views work differently for bars, where like they get because right now you need ESPN Plus. Well, bars don't need ESPN Plus. They just get the pay-per-view. Like they just get it. Like they can order it as a regular pay-per-view depending on how many people they serve.
And I'm sure Amazon does some similar package.
That's where I'm at. Yeah,
or just somebody just finesse a login.
They got it.
It's yeah.
We got
you're not
think,
missing
though,
it.
If you're finessing a login, that's for like 50 TVs though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's up? Why does this feel so weird? I know I'm in the middle. Is the camera just tilted or something?
Move the camera to the left a little bit.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, you're good.
No, not you.
No.
I know.
Not you.
I'm probably messing you up doing your thing though.
No, you're good. You're good. I got it.
All right. Did you listen to DJ Chark yesterday? DJ Chark's press conference? Mm-mm. Just kind of speaking on like a lot of the, I guess, mishaps in the first game, and it obviously being the new offense for miscues, for Goff and those guys too.
Oh God!
But as much as like obviously it's a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be disappointed in. For me, as a fan of the Detroit Lions, and I've said this a little bit earlier in the week anyway, but like, dog, wait till they get it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they put 35 points up on a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're the second most touchdowns in the league right now.
Yeah, they had the second highest scoring offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Eagles scored more, but they had the pick six, so their offense didn't score as much. The Chiefs were the only offense to score more than the Lions in Week 1. And like you said, they had those miscues. They had a lot of stuff not go right for them in the first half. Jared Goff had like 6 passing yards in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So it was a tough start, but they picked it up in the second half and they started making some plays. So hopefully it doesn't take them a half of football to get going.
Yeah.
This week.
Promising things for Ben Johnson, man. We've been talking about it all off season, and we've been ridiculed at certain points too because we had a topic, who you're most scared of leaving, to a head coaching job, Aaron Glenn. I always do that. Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson. and people in the chat, like, we, can we relax a little bit? We haven't even seen Ben Johnson hit the field, which I guess, what I'm saying, that's fair, that's true. But we saw the little bit of, again, it's Salt Bay.
Yeah.
A little bit of Salt Bay sprinkled towards the end of the season. I think I was listening to, maybe it was NFL Network. Or no, actually, it was a press conference from Jack Del Rio. The guy who said that crazy stuff about the Riots. He's defensive coordinator of the Commanders.
Yeah, I know who Jack Del Rio is. He's wild. He was the head coach of the Jaguars for a while.
Yeah, he was. When they were David Garrard and Fred Taylor, man. Yep. Fred Taylor used to be one of the coldest.
Fred Taylor was a monster.
I had you ever had MySpace?
Yeah.
That's my MySpace. Well, dude, I don't know. You were born in 1996. I don't know.
I'm only
I feel like
2 years younger than you.
It's 3 years, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting up there.
Yeah, you're 30. You're about to die.
I'm not 30 yet, bro. Stop saying it.
Washed.
Oh, the whole watching. I'm 20. Okay, I'm still in my 20s. And that's facts.
And that's facts. You can take that to the bank, baby.
I was going to say, though, Fred Taylor was like my MySpace background. He was my favorite running back to watch back then.
Yeah, Easy's about to be on AARP. It's crazy. I remember being on MySpace. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Fred Taylor was a monster, though. I love that shit.
Oh, beast, bro. But nonetheless.
And then they had MJD after Fred Taylor.
Yeah, and Reese Jones-Drew. Yep.
Some dog running backs.
I think Jack Del Rio was a good coach a little bit for the Raiders, too. I feel like
yes, he was.
They let go of him a little bit too soon. I don't understand. They're in a rush to...
Probably because he's crazy.
Yeah, he is pretty crazy. But they're rushing to get Chucky in there, and Chucky was a straight ass. And I thought I was like... I'm not. I guess at that time I was rooting against the Raiders because I at least my like an analyst then I was like, Jack Del Rio is a good coach. Why the hell would you fire him? And they brought in, they ushered in Chucky, and Chucky tore him down. But nonetheless, Jack Del Rio spoke on this Detroit Lions offense. He said they've scored the most points, obviously this year, other than the Chiefs. Touchdowns, just to say, not points.
And points. Their offense scored the most points.
Well, the offense scored the second most touchdowns.
They scored the second most points other than the Chiefs.
The second most points would be the Eagles, though.
Their offense didn't score 6 of those points.
Oh, okay.
Because it was pick 6.
Oh, I didn't know they had a pick 6.
Yeah. Goff got pick 6.
Oh, I got you.
So the Lions' offense scored more points than the Eagles' offense.
I got it. I just said I got you. All right, what the fuck?
You fucking idiot! Listen to what I'm saying.
I got you. No, listen. Nonetheless, though, he was sprinkled back to last year against the Packers, and he's like, these guys aren't they're not a joke. That's something I think I'm gonna start doing from week to week, just jumping into the other teams like press conferences because you get hear they speak on us,
hear what they're thinking about.
Yeah, a little bit. Scott Turner, Norv Turner's son, he spoke on our team a little bit too, and we're getting into that one because we want to discuss. Commanders fans think their receivers are all that in a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? They're fairly confident.
I agree with them.
You do?
I like their receiving core a lot.
All right, we're definitely jumping into that one because I want to know, are you then concerned about the Detroit Lions cornerbacks? So I know you like Amani Oruwariye.
I do.
Obviously, Jeff Okudah came away from the Eagles game, highly graded per PFF, and from our eyeballs too.
He looked good.
Pretty good game. Injuries, bro. Injuries piling on. Are they a bit of a concern?
Somebody tagged me on Twitter. Justin Rogers put out like, who is going to be the Lions' starting offensive line? And they put me at left guard. I forget who it was, but shout out. I was like, put me out there. I'll crack some skulls, baby.
That's what's up, man. That's messed up. You forgot. Another one of our future teams that we're playing, the Seahawks, Jamal Adams, just went down for the season. I think JB sent me that one. Is that for the season?
Yeah. Season-ending pectoral.
Yep, season-ending.
Surgery on his...
That's crazy because they gave up so much to get him.
Yeah.
Also,
how much you give up now? A lot. How many picks did you give up? A lot.
A lot. And I don't even think he's producing to that at all. We have a Commanders content creator, my guy, George Camri. You messed me up. Well, I messed us all up. I spelled it wrong on the sheet. But George Carmi's joined the show, I guess, to break down a little bit of what to expect from the Commanders heading into this game. And because you and I, we did the list, the questionable quarterback list, and your argument was like, well, Jared Goff is questionable quarterback, which I can't deny. But you're saying, same fans from those teams are saying, the checking the Lions is a W. And I like getting these content creators, the guests, they have them on and ask, is this, you guys still putting this up there as a W? And
yeah.
Especially after week 1, because we actually had a little bit of a showcasing.
For sure.
Both, I guess I can't say defensively, but offensively for sure. So I talked to him. AG said he's disappointed in the defense, but not discouraged. And obviously that's everything that we were saying this week too. You know, saying we saw Hutch and the boys back there getting pressure, but unfortunately they didn't finish and get the sack.
Yeah, for sure. We need those guys to finish. You love them. You love seeing them get up there, do their thing, but they got to finish. It's all about finishing. So I expect that to happen. Like we said, it's very hard when you're dealing with a guy of Jalen Hurts' athleticism, of his ability to move in the pocket and extend plays with his legs. Carson Wentz isn't like that anymore. He used to be a pretty mobile guy, not like a threat to run, but he could scramble a little bit. He could get out there and get some done with his legs when he had to. But now that the injuries racked up, he's not as much of a threat to do that anymore. So I expect Aiden Hutchinson to put his balls on the back of Carson Wentz's neck a couple times in this game. I expect Aiden Hutchinson. Like I said, I got him in a sack and a half. I think he's going to have a great game. I think Charles Harris gets a sack as well. I think they're going to get to him. They're going to get to him. When they get to him, he's not going to be able to evade them and escape as easily as Jalen Hurts did, because Jalen Hurts is just a freak athlete and Carson Wentz is not that.
I'm not saying Carson is a freak athlete. He's definitely not that, but I don't know if those injuries have slowed him down quite yet. I think he's still got some of the thing. I think I've told you this when we were back in Studio B. I'm a Carson Wentz truther, I guess. Yeah, like I think he's cold when he's cold.
Who do you like more, Carson Wentz? Who would you rather have, Carson Wentz or Jared Goff?
Well, we will get into that in hour 2, or we can move it up. We got the whole offense broken down here. We see who you prefer.
You broke down a lot there.
I got it. I got it over here.
I was about to say. You got a lot broken down there, buddy.
Hey, if you can't see, I don't know if no, I can't see that. There's nothing written on there. We got that, and the morning show was discussing which coaches could possibly be on the hot seat, and I believe Dan Campbell had to be part of that discussion. Went 3-13 last year, started this season with the loss. I want to ask you, Spinny, later on, is Campbell on that hot seat if he loses this game? Because you know the 0-2 curse, man.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. 7 teams last year went 0-2, none made the playoffs. 11 teams in 2020 went 0-2 to start the season. None of them made the playoffs. The last time a team did that was 2018 with the Houston Texans on the back of J.J. Watt, and DeAndre Hopkins, and they had a lot of talent, a lot of star power on that team. So we're going to talk about it. It won't look good, and it's not just that. It's not because I don't expect them to make the playoffs anyways. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs this season anyways. But are you going to lose the fans? Are you going to lose the locker room? Are you going to lose some confidence with these guys if you start off, losing 15 of your first 19 games? It's not a great recipe to build confidence in players and fans.
It's not a good look, fam.
Not a good look.
Then this one I saved towards the end of the show, as I do when I have these explosions, these rants.
Hey, yo.
More Russell Westbrook. This one's actually coming from an anonymous GM, I think it was.
Yeah.
I have to double check on that article. It's from Lakers Daily.
It's been catching some traction, man. Russ to the D.
I'm gonna save myself for that segment.
I'm not mad at it.
We'll get to it.
I wouldn't be opposed
to it. We'll get to it.
I'm not gonna lie.
One last.
Give me them picks.
Yeah.
One last bit of housekeeping here. We are going to be announcing the winner of the Outkick Your Coverage contest, and which, if you don't know about, Spinny, tell them.
Yeah, we are going to announce the winner of this tomorrow on our show at 7 o'clock. But if you don't know, now you know, because the Woodward Sports Network
now you know
is giving you a chance to sit front row for the Detroit versus Washington game this Sunday. That's right. We are looking for the ugliest guy and the hottest girl. So, fellas, if you've outkicked your coverage, here's your chance. Post a pic of your superior-looking partner on Twitter or Instagram with hashtag Woodward Front Row. Follow us and tag at Woodward Sports. Hurry up, because like I said, we're announcing the winner live on our show tomorrow. And the race is heating up. We're getting a lot of entries, so there's some baddies in there. So make sure if your girl's really fine, you're kind of ugly, post that pic, tag us, get a chance to sit front row. We are the Woodward Heavyweights. We'll be right back.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, listen, we're fired up. We got some NFL Thursday Night Football here to talk about at 4:30 over at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. I'm also excited to get over that App Store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best place to check all the odds of sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get back to that Thursday Night Football game. We need some winners. That's what we're here for. Listen, I'm taking the Chargers. Herbert's 3-1 against the spread against the Chiefs in his career. And I'm also going to take, as a little bonus, Mahomes over 16.5 rushing yards. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Hey, yo. You know where we be on Mondays. All right? I'm not going to say it during this ad read, but you know where we be on Mondays. You don't want your daughter there. All right? Get her a good education. Sign up now for their brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. That could be used for 7-on-7 football. They have K-8 features. I'm talking about the Academy of Warren, guys. They have AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, Futuristic Media Center, free breakfast and lunch, Hope Mifflin curriculum, academic games through K-8 athletics. Guys, enroll your kids today at theacademyofwarren.net. Just do it. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. What up, though? And welcome. Oh, my God. You doing this again?
We had to put that one up.
Just the one time.
That is the
one time.
I'm at that one.
JB's
Welcome
got
back.
The bangers.
He does. JB got the bangers, man. Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy, Eazy, joined by my man, Spin Mo Rex.
Hello.
We got Young Sus in the TV booth. JB Smooth on the ones and twos, and that's why you hear these beautiful tunes. But jumping back into the prep sheet.
Check it out.
We have the Detroit Lions injury report. If you put that graphic up, Sus, so the fans can check it out. Couple
check it out.
Big names here, couple starters. Couple vets.
Yes.
A Pro Bowler sitting there, an possible All-Pro, Frank Ragnow. You got
2
obviously
games out.
Jonah Jackson,
2 practices,
which he was limited yesterday with a finger injury. Out today, it looks like. Frank Ragnow, no practice today. Still got the groin foot, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I gotta do a little bit more homework on what's going on with that foot. But DeAndre Swift, the ankle, no practice. Second day in a row for Swifty. Brockers back at practice. He's out yesterday. Decker back at practice. He's out yesterday. If he's been dealing with injuries, Amani Oruwariye back.
He actually left early.
Oh,
he was in warm-ups and he was doing stuff like that, and his back started messing up, and he left practice.
And then Julian.
Yeah, Julian's been banged up, but
yeah. Julian's back though. Julian 2 full practices, so that's good. But Amani, he was participated early, did a lot of oh man, chat's going crazy. He did a lot of different things, doing the warm-ups and stuff like that, and then left practice with that back. I don't know if it's back tightness, back spasms, but it's not good, especially going up against some pretty good wide receivers for the DC Commanders.
Yeah, some of the stuff when I was looking at yesterday, I was kind of just chalking it up to like, just some veteran guys,
wear and tear.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then I'm not really tripping off of most of them. Can you put the list actually back up there, Sus?
Yeah.
The only thing that does concern me,
check it out,
a little bit, is the fact that like this team's strength. Although again they did spread the ball out and they are like Dan Campbell said all 53 is our strength, but the true strength of this team, we believe, is the offensive line.
100%.
And you got 3 of your starters on there after already losing one of your starters for possibly, I'm not going to say this season, but Big V just had back surgery. I can't imagine that he's back in time.
Big V had back surgery. He's probably going to be gone for a while. Tommy Kramer was just added to the IR. And we signed, I can't pronounce the guy's name, out of the Eagles camp.
Yeah.
Signed it, practice squad guy, took him from the Eagles. So maybe Evan Brown steps up. Maybe Stenberg is healthier and he's ready to go. But yeah, it doesn't look good when you got 3 of those big boys sitting up on that list. Because like you said, as much as Dan Campbell says, listen, man, we got a complete group here, man. We're not one strength, man. We go off of each other, man, and we're going to go out. Listen, Dan, I love you, but I don't want to hear that shit. Because the offensive line is by far the strength of this team, by far the best group on this team. So Jesus Christ, Noah. Having guys like that on the injured list this early in the season, it's not great. It's not great. We saw Frank on there last week. He ended up played the whole game. Didn't really seem to hinder him much. So maybe that is just a little wear and tear, just a little maintenance, making sure the big boys are feeling good about themselves, feeling fat and sassy, ready to go. But having them miss 2 practices,
feeling fat and sassy.
Having them missing 2 practices in a row is not a good sign at all. If you got to assume Thursday is normally the day that's like, okay, if you miss Thursday, then you can start to get a little worried about it. You can start to get a little scared about it. Start to not feel good about it. But if they miss Friday, if Ragnar misses Friday, he's probably not playing. That would be 3 straight practices that he's missed. If Jonah Jackson misses Friday, he's probably not playing. That would be 2 straight practices that he's missed. That is not good. And that, as simply put as that. You need those guys in there. We, like you said, Big V back surgery gone for a long time. I don't know when we'll be able to see him again. Tommy Kramer gone for at least 4 weeks. So we're already down to our 3rd string guy at that position.
Yeah, and
we need Frank out there. We need Jonah out there. Period.
Period. Poo.
Period. Period. Head.
No, man, it's like I said, a lot of it. I want to, like, yesterday's being on the, I guess, optimistic Lions fan. I wanted to side with the side of them being cautious and maintenance and those guys being veterans. But like you said, Spenny, the strength of this team is the offensive line. We are now down, if these injuries remain, 3/5 of that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Jonah Jackson was in the Pro Bowl last year. Obviously, Frank Ragnow. Taylor Decker obviously participated today, but it's really the run game, which we saw the 144 yards. DeAndre Swift, he got an ankle injury with holes opened up by that offensive line that's also banged up.
Big men opening holes, baby.
Big men opening holes, and DeAndre Swift smashing through them.
Smashing those holes.
It's and then the Monty Warrior stuff. I saw he was stretching and then he left and was sideline chilling with the trainers the rest of that. So maybe hopefully that was a precautionary situation. But back injuries, the Detroit Lions don't have, as of late, a good history with back issues.
No, they do not.
They don't. Big V, that's the reason why he had his surgery, was a back injury. Tyrell Crosby retired from the game because of a back injury. I think John Pinacci, I don't know if it was an injury thing per se, but
Levi Ozarike.
Back injury. It's and back injuries are like the sketchiest, bro.
Especially for big guys. These are all big guys we're mentioning. These are all 300-plus pound guys.
Well, Amani.
Well, yeah, not Amani. But the other guys, they're all 300-plus pound guys. So that takes a lot more. So hopefully it doesn't affect Amani too much because he's not a 300-plus pound guy. But you never know with a back injury, man. That can just keep acting up. It can just keep messing up. And it can just happen like you can feel fine one day and then boom, it's back spasm.
My back is broken.
My back, spinal. Yeah, it's so... Hopefully my guy Amani is okay. Hopefully he's ready for this game because we're going to need him. We're going to need him big time.
Yeah, because next time we were kind of talking about is, are we nervous for these Washington Commanders wide receivers? And I'm not going to give my answer away just yet, but, Amani is obviously part of that equation.
Yes.
Going to switch up my answer a little bit.
If it's Charles Harris out there, you better be damn worried about these wide receivers.
But the back injury, man, it's
Will Harris.
Yeah. I used to mess it up all the time, too. But nonetheless, the back is like a serious thing, man. You know how, like, your spine, you got those certain segments, you touch it, one kicks your leg out, the other one gives you a boner. It's fucking like your back's connected to so many more things. It can cause so many more issues.
Elite spinal cord breakdown with Daniel Izirkis.
You gonna throw out my fucking government like that, Phil? Hold on, guys. I'm looking up Spencer's address.
I had to tell because we're going to Caz-Tech King tomorrow for the matchup. Sir. I had to tell the AD your name, and I didn't want it to be like easy. I was like, I told him your name. He was like, "Can you spell that for me?" I was like, yeah. I tried to spell it. Anthony was in the room with me. He was like,
that's funny as shit.
So
sounds legit.
Yeah, we'll see if I spelled it right.
I should have just told him John Smith, Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I mean, I'm sure they're gonna look at your ID.
Yeah, I have to get in.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Dante Moore playing that game.
Yeah, Dante Moore. He's gonna cut up.
It's gonna be lit. He's going to Oregon over Michigan. Sorry, guys.
Shout out.
In-state.
Yeah.
We took out on that one too. But no, man, the back stuff concerns me, especially. I guess I don't want to say more so with Amani. He's like the O-line, too. We need all these guys.
Yeah.
I think Swift is obviously more maintenance. JB, are you freaking out? Are we like doing too much? Are we just stirring the pot, being media, or like what?
No, I mean, it's okay to be nervous and a little bit cautious, but as Spencer said, you got to wait till Friday. If they're not practicing, they're not out on the field by Friday, then that's time to be nervous. But DeAndre Swift has already came out and said that, hey, the ankle injury is minor. He will play. Don't worry. And, of course, Ben Johnson already wants him to be a bigger part of the role come Sunday. So they're just resting him. It's just cautionary right now.
Yeah, the DeAndre Swift one, I'm not worried about because he did get interviewed, and he said he's fine. He'll be out there. Don't worry about it. But the offensive line ones I'm starting to worry about because we haven't heard much from them. We haven't heard about updates from Frank Ragnow. We haven't really heard updates from Jonah Jackson. So,
is there any update on
I didn't hear
foot situation?
Anything about the foot thing. Maybe he, like I said, his groin was hurting so bad he kicked something, stubbed his toe. Only cried for 7 hours. So, you need that guy out. We need Frank out there.
Ben Johnson spoke to the media today, and he said that Dan Campbell has a mantra. He says, "No one handles adversity better than us." Which, I mean, to a certain extent is true. I know that a lot of our offense is based off running that football, and I do think we have wide receivers that can be utilized. But even that being said, we need an offensive line. If we are missing the offensive line, though, and again, this week we have a pretty good, stout Commanders defensive line.
Stout.
But they're going against the Jaguars, so I don't know how much credit I want to give them on that one.
No, they're still good. I mean, they got no Chase Young, but they still got Jonathan Allen. They got Montez Sweat. They got Darman Payne. So they have some... They have some players up there for sure.
I was going to say this, though. If we are missing a couple linemen, which obviously you want them to be there.
Yeah.
Last week, Jared Goff clocked the fastest release time of any quarterback. It was 2.41 in terms of getting the ball out. So, I mean, there's that.
There's that, but there's also Ben Johnson was adamant about Jared Goff about not throwing the ball deep as much, about not taking those deep shots down the field. And you can't do that with a 2-second release. You need to give time for those routes to develop. So we'll see. Obviously, you like that, that tight release. He's definitely going to need more of that.
Nice and tight.
Nice and tight. The other one is nice and tight and just grips. And so you got to get you grip the ball and then you rip it. So hopefully we'll see about how their game plan is going to work out with these losses. Maybe they stick to that. Maybe they get more guys out there. Maybe they get more short undercut routes so he can get the ball out fast, so he doesn't have to worry about getting obliterated by one of these big men on that DC. Neil was calling them the DC Commanders today, and I agree with him. It sounds way better.
Sounds way better.
Way better than Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I'm on board that one too.
Yeah,
it's all pause intended. It's a mouthful, bro.
It is, yeah. The Washington Commanders. It's like 8 syllables.
Yeah. I saw they had it on the PTI on ESPN, and they did the apostrophe Durs /Lions. Because even they're like, fuck
Durs.
This, bro. Yeah, like,
the Durs. We're playing the Durs.
The DC Durs. Hey, yo, if I want to get in shape to avoid these back injuries, Spinny, where's a good place to go, fam?
Planet Fitness, man. As you know, we broadcast this show live from the Planet Fitness studios in Birmingham. And Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership is just $10 a month, or the Black Card for $24.99. Black Card members enjoy the use of amenities such as unlimited tanning, hydro massage chairs, and total body enhancement, along with over 2,000 locations around the world.
Copyright.
So make sure you join in club or online at planetfitness.com. It's
Fire.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and we'll be
have
right
that
back.
Copyright strike.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
At Alta.
Uptime.
Madness. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a big project coming up? Alta Ranch you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Again, that's 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Alta Equipment where
Uptime.
Madness.
Uptime.
Sus, why you smiling at that, bro? Why you like cheesing so hard?
Just having a good time.
Cool it out, dude. All right, relax. Thank you. What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy, he's joined my man Spin on Racks. We got Young Sus in the TD booth. My man JB Smooth with the ones and twos. Durs! Lions taking out them Durs, boy. I ain't care. Moving on. Speaking of them Durs.
You just still geeked after that picture you were showing earlier.
What one? Oh, yeah.
The old girl.
Yeah, we get canceled for that one, though. Maybe one day we'll make.
Maybe one day we'll
make a Patreon. Yeah, I wanted to say OnlyFans to make it funnier, but
we can make an OnlyFans.
Hey, thanks, dude.
You think so?
You think?
Yeah.
Anyway, you asked ahead of the show, and I shout out to my guy Kurt Steele and them other Detroit Lions content creators. They did a little bit of a breakdown yesterday, and they got attacked by the Nerves fans. They're attacking them because I guess they dogged out the receivers a little bit. The Commanders think the receivers are the real deal. They got all kinds of nicknames for them, like the Air Force 3. And this is one game these guys played together, but they're hype on them. Do you believe in it though, Spinny? Because you even asked on the prep sheet, am I worried about our secondary against those three receivers?
Do I believe? Do I believe? You're asking me if I believe today. I will tell you that I do believe. I do believe in these Washington Commanders receivers. I do believe the Lions should be scared all day of these Washington Commanders receivers. But yeah, I do believe because indubitably, these Lions quarterbacks have struggled with what?
I mean, A.J. Brown.
Speed. You know, because Amani Omuwari, as much as I like him, he is not the fastest guy. Jeff Okudah, coming off of the Achilles injury, lost a step, is not going to be as fast. Especially if we got damn Will Harris out there. I'm scared. And you look at these Washington receivers, Curtis Samuel, 4.31 40 time. Scary Terry McLaurin, 4.35 40 time. Jahan Dotson, 4.43 40 time. These guys are some burners. They will go out there and they will get behind the defense. They will burn these cornerbacks in one-on-one. So it does scare me a little bit. But before I proclaim my fears for these Durs receivers, let me tell you one thing, Durs. We have those two men up front. Hayden Hutchinson, the chosen one. We have Charles Harris, the man who came out of nowhere.
Great White Hope.
Cooper Kupp's the Great White Hope. But if they can go out there, Charles Harris and Aiden Hutchinson, if they can get to Carson Wentz, if they can attack Carson Wentz before he is able to let these routes deep down the field become what they really are, before these routes develop, then I'm fine with it. Because as fast as these guys are, to really use their speed, it takes a little while. You know, obviously the jet screens, bubble screens, stuff like that. But with the tackling ability of our corners, I'm not too worried about that. But the deep downfield routes, that is what I'm worried about. Because these guys are burners. These guys are guys that will go out there and beat you by a couple steps and get behind your secondary. So to have a slower secondary is a fear against guys like this. We need Aiden Hutchinson and Charles Harris to get in there and put their nuts in Carson Wentz's mouth before he can let these routes develop, before these receivers can get behind the defense. If they don't, it's going to be a long day for the boys. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of separation unless our defensive line and our defensive ends can go out there and take care of business.
I was a lot to handle, bro. You were all over the place. You was preaching. You was talking about putting nuts in my mouth. You was quite the extensive take, and I'm with it to a certain extent. Cause I go back to AG Aaron Glenn and that podcast he did with Adam Schefter.
Yes,
and he was talking about Jesus. Bears. Nonetheless, though, he was just talking about like his defensive philosophy, and obviously he's coached with some of the best of them. He's called around the league and checked up with those guys. I'm gonna slap you. Nonetheless, obviously you want to be like more physical up front. I think Jeff Okudah, that is like, that's his strength. That's where he's best at. We watched his tape at Ohio State even. He is, dude, he's molesting guys at the line of scrimmage. Straight up. You watch it, you're just like, damn, bro.
Yo.
You should put a condom on next time you touch somebody like that, fam. And then head back to last week, though, against the Eagles. Because, these guys do SB. I can't deny that. But they aren't the biggest guys. I look at Devontae Smith, who was also the knock on him. Devonta Smith from the Eagles. The knock on him was his size. Yeah, he was an amazing receiver. Yeah, he's fast, all that good stuff. But he gets abused at the line of scrimmage. What did we see last week with Jeff Okudah? Abusing that man at the line of scrimmage.
Yes, he was.
Now, I believe that Jeff Okudah can do that to all three of those names.
Do you believe in love and love? I think Terry McLaurin is a better receiver than Jeff Okudah.
Terry McLaurin's a dog. I like Terry McLaurin a lot.
I got him on fantasy.
I will say this, too, like... And I said this too, like, were you guys concerned even about that philosophy? Because it is a concerning one. Like, if you miss on that jam, guys like Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel...
You're not going to catch up to those guys.
Yeah, they're going to burn you.
Yes.
They're going to burn you. But obviously we saw him go against Devontae Smith, who, as much as you say... I mean, Terry is better than him. I'll say that. It's safe to say for sure. Yeah. But I don't think Devontae's no, like snoozer, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had that 960, 4 yards last year with Jalen Hurts throwing at him. We all know Jalen Hurts is kind of limited as a pocket quarterback. My concern does come, though, at the Amani Awori injury with the back. That's where I am a little bit nervous there if he plays or not, because I have no faith in Will Harris. Now, obviously, we got our guy Mike Hughes in the wing, and maybe we see Chase Lucas make his debut. I think Chase Lucas can keep up with a couple of those guys. I think he's talented enough, but if healthy, I'm not as concerned. I mean, let's be real about it. Look at Curtis Samuel's career numbers. He never really done too much. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect any of our opponents. I think we should be scared of every single one of them because we are the Detroit Lions. I do have that PTSD stored in me, but Curtis Samuel hadn't done much in his career. Jahan Dotson, he had those 2 touchdowns last week. Only 3 catches. Just 2 of them happened to be touchdowns. I think, actually, I got it on the sheet here. Specifically, he was 3 of 5. You know what I'm saying? So 2 of those catches he wasn't able to rein in. So I think we got to hold a little bit on him and this receiving core as a whole. Now, Terry McLaurin, that is the one I'll tell you I'm scared of.
Terry McLaurin, he's baller. He is definitely the alpha of that room. Still, Curtis Samuel went for 8 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown last week.
Yeah.
Like you said, Jahan Dotson only had 3 catches, but it was for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, these guys are scary. These guys are ballers, and they're all real fast. Like, they make fast people look not fast. So I expect, we need to change our kind of coverage. I don't know if that jam and run is going to work against guys with this speed, against guys with the capability to take the top off. Like you said, if you miss that jam, you're not catching up to those guys. Yeah. You're not catching up to Terry. You're not catching up to Curtis. You're not catching up to Dotson. It's just what it is. Our defensive backs are not fast enough to be able to miss a jam, lose a couple steps, and still catch up to those guys down the field.
I think Okudah can keep up. I don't know that he's as agile, though. I will say that. There is another person in their passing game that I think is being looked over, and obviously that wasn't part of this segment officially, but I want to go ahead to Antonio Gibson, a former receiver himself. I think he led the team in catches last week. They caught 7 out of 8.
He did.
But a lot of that, again, I listened to that press conference today from Scott Turner, and it was just because, the Jags were just giving them some cushion. Obviously, Detroit Lions play a whole different defense. I don't know if that'll be a concern, but nonetheless, as a former receiver, Antonio Gibson and our linebacking core, not the best. I do think Malcolm, obviously, you hope he keep up with them. That's, I guess, where I get a little bit concerned in terms of pass catchers when it comes to this team. But if healthy, Amani Warrior and Jeff Okudah, I'm not tripping as much because as fast as these guys are, outside of Terry McLaurin, they've been stopped most of their career.
Well,
John actually hasn't started his career, but
again, these guys aren't. I'm not saying they've got a team full of ones. It's like, I'm not saying Curtis Samuel is a 1, but he's a damn good 2. We saw when he was paired together with DJ Moore in Carolina, they were a very good pairing together. They were dangerous.
For like fantasy football.
Because they had that speed. And they were taking the tops off of defenses. And that is what they can do with a guy like that. You put a speedy guy next to another speedy big guy like Terry McLaurin, it can be dangerous for some defenses.
Yeah, 5 years in the league. He has 2,169 yards and 15 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, that might sound like a lot, but in 5 years' time, it's not. But like you said, he's been a 2. He's dealt with some injury issues. Tape's out there for him to be stopped. He had a big game, and he does that. I think anybody who plays fantasy football, I've seen these games where they've been deceived by Curtis Samuel and picked him up and were excited for him, just for him to be like, 1 to 4 of those games, and that's all you're really getting for him. He's one of those risky starts.
Yeah, and Curtis Samuel's one season where he played more than 8 games. He only has one season in his career where, games started more than 8 games. He started 15 games in 2019, 54 receptions for 627 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like, that's pretty damn good.
At the same time, though, I mean, he didn't start. He didn't start for a reason, He wasn't good enough to...
Yeah, well, he is starting in this game.
Yeah.
In this team. And like I said, the 1 year where he was given that opportunity to start, he did that. And that's pretty damn good as a number 2.
I'm excited to see the Commanders fans get a hold of this one. I'm excited to talk to our guy George and see what he thinks. I honestly haven't spoken to George before. I actually got connected with him through our guy Joe Castro, the Phillies content creator. So I wonder if he's like a truther. You know what I'm saying? If he's going to keep it real by his team, or if he's going to come out here talking all that mess. Because I heard the Commanders fans were slaying my guy Kurt Steele and the boys. And they're criticizing their receivers. Herman Moore actually thinks their receiving core is better than ours, too.
I do, too.
But we're getting into that one later in the show. We're hopping into that one next segment. We'll see. Before we do that, though, Spinny, I got to tell you about Gypsy Vodka.
Okay.
All right, it's the real deal. All right, it's tea mixed in with that Gypsy Vodka made by 2 brothers from Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Support a local product. Guys, summer's over, all right? It's the official drink of the fall. And whether you're out on the golf course or arguing some sports with your boys, the Mulligan's calling your name. Ask for the Mulligan at a local golf course or Total Wine near you. And please, please, please do me a favor when you do so. Drink responsibly. It's Woodward Heavyweights. We'll be right back breaking down a little bit of Detroit Lions versus Washington Commanders. Bears!
You're an ugly guy, and that's okay because you've outkicked your coverage with your significant other. Well, that's good news for you. Their hotness and your notness could get you front row tickets. The Woodward Sports Network is giving you a chance to sit front row for the Detroit versus Washington football game. That's right. We're looking for the ugliest guy and the hottest girl. So fellas, come on. If you know you've outkicked your coverage, here's your chance. Post a pic of you and your superior-looking partner on Twitter or Instagram with hashtag Woodward Front Row. Follow us and tag @Woodward Sports. Hurry, because we'll be selecting a winner September 16th. We can't wait to see you. Well, her. From the network that always outkicks the competition. Woodward Sports.
Hey, this is Mr. Carmi, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
I always catch everybody by surprise when I tell them this one. I'm at the store, I'm cashing out, and I got to get my discount, so I pull out my white privilege card. Because as you guys know, I am a white man. But it's all thanks to St. Pepper's 10 I'm able to look so beautifully Brazilianly bronze and gold, man. They got the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. Right now, they'll beat all competitors by $5.
$5?
$5, Spinny. They got 26 locations across all of Michigan and more on the way. Make sure you check them out. Again, it's Chili Peppers 10. They got the hottest bulbs, hottest deals, the darkest tans. Check them out.
Check it out.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my man Spin Mo Rex.
Hello.
We got Young Sus in the TD booth, my guy JB Smooth on the ones and twos. And before we went to break, I guess we weren't arguing, but it's disagreement. Because I was thinking during the break, this is the only reason why I bring this back up, is I think I'd for sure say at least the starting 2 receivers from the Eagles are better than the receivers on the Commanders.
It's a toss-up, I'd say.
Toss-up?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's a toss-up, I'd say.
A.J. Brown?
Yeah, Terry McLaurin.
I love Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
He ain't sniffing A.J. Brown.
Yes, he is. I'd say they're pretty close.
I tell you, look at the numbers. They're not. I only know this because I had a big argument. Shout out to my guy Rodney if he is listening. And if you guys haven't already, again, hit that like button. But we had a big argument about Terry McLaurin and Michael Pittman. But, yeah, A.J. Brown, he's a dog. And just keep it real, too, about him. I guess you could say the same for McLaurin for sure. McLaurin's never had a true quarterback. I think Wentz is the best quarterback he's had throughout his career. But
Terry McLaurin, in 3 years in the NFL, has never had a season under 900 receiving yards. Last year, he went for 77 catches, 1,053 yards, 5 touchdowns. The year before that, 87 catches, 1,118 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. And his rookie year went for 58 catches for 919 yards and 7 touchdowns. Say that makes him a pretty damn good receiver in the NFL.
But I'm telling you, he's not
and I'd put him on par
Brown.
with A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown
as a number 1 receiver.
Let me give you A.J. Brown's numbers then. All right. In his 4 years in the NFL, well, I would say 3 years at this point because this year's still ongoing. 1,000 yards his first 2 years, 8 touchdowns the first one, 11 in the second. The following year, last year, obviously dealt with some injuries. And by the way, too, those are with only 16 games played in year 1. He played all 16. Only 14 in year 2 and only 13 last year. We had 869 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now, I'd say both of them have had quarterbacks with limited capabilities, but come on, dog. A.J.
Terry
Brown's
played 14 games in his first year where he went for 919 yards and 7 touchdowns, and 15 games in his second year where he went for 1,118 yards and 4 touchdowns. Those stats are very comparable. So saying he doesn't sniff A.J. Brown is a big reach to me.
A.J. Brown is, I'll put it to you this way. A.J. Brown's for certain better than Terry McLaurin.
I don't know about that.
You're tripping. What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know about that.
A.J. Brown, those first 2 years, I think...
We just went over the stats 3 times.
Yeah, we did just go over the stats.
And they're both very comparable.
Your guy, Terry McLaurin, only has 1 year with more yards. In both years, A.J. Brown has more touchdowns on top of the 1,000-yard seasons.
Well, touchdowns are kind of an ass stat. Julio Jones doesn't get any touchdowns ever. Is Julio Jones a bad receiver because he doesn't have touchdown stats?
You talking about Julio Jones now or Julio Jones
Jones his whole career.
Julio Jones got touchdowns. Julio Jones as of late ain't been the greatest. But Julio Jones is probably getting hella touchdowns. What do you mean? You looking it up right now?
Yeah.
Go see Cams. Spit out these stats.
Julio Jones has never had a season with more than 10 touchdowns. That was his second year. His career, 8 touchdowns.
Go by the year. Okay.
2011, 8. 2012, 10. 2013, 2. 2014, 6. 2015, 8. 2016, 6. 2017, 3. 2018, 8. 2019, 6. 2020, 3.
Yeah, you tripping. I don't know if you're arguing just to argue, but AJ is for sure. But again, Terry's not bad. I'm not telling you Terry's bad. But AJ is for certain a better receiver.
I think it's debatable. And the stats prove it.
The stats don't prove it.
How? We just read them off.
How did the stats prove it?
We just read them off.
AJ has better stats.
Barely.
But they're better, correct?
Not much better.
Okay.
So I don't think it's easy to say he's a better receiver.
It is easy to say,
I'd rather
Spencer.
have Terry, honestly.
He is a better receiver.
I'd rather have Terry.
You're just being stubborn. There's no way in hell. Chat, make this a poll, sus. Wrap this one up. I mean, but my point being, though, Lions contain those guys outside of A.J. Brown, obviously, who hell of a receiver. I'd say this, too. Like, A.J. Brown's been, like, the guy, the stud. He's a big-body dude. He's just a beast. But held them in check for majority of the part. Obviously, things broke loose when Jalen Hurts was down there scrambling and running around. Will Harris allowed him that 54-yard reception. I'm tripping over...
Also, A.J. Brown does a much better offense. You give Terry McLaurin, Derrick Henry in his backfield, I bet his stats take a jump.
I think Terry's good. I just think A.J.'s better. Doc McLaurin a better player. disagree. I think, again, look at the stats. Just look at him play. AJ's just a beast of a human being. But I don't know. I'm just not really tripping on him like that receiving core, especially Curtis Samuel. I don't understand. Like, I get, like, last week he did have a big game, but, like, he's been in the league a while, guys. That's the stuff with the Allen Lazard hype heading into the season, like fantasy stuff like that. Allen Lazard's been in the league a minute. He ain't never been like he never been the guy like that,
Yeah,
Every once in a while, have a good game.
Not anywhere near the receiver of either of the guys we just mentioned.
Well, I'm talking about Curtis Samuel.
Oh, yeah. Curtis Samuel's a better receiver than Allen Lazard.
Yeah, I'd say so for sure.
Yeah. Devontae Smith, again, it's still up in the air. Devontae Smith is obviously he's a rookie last year, so you can't really chart his career. I think he'll be better than Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I think Devontae Smith will be better than Curtis Samuel for sure, too.
Samuel, yes.
Actually, to be honest with you, his rookie year last year, I think was better than any career year of Curtis Samuel. So I'd say, Devontae Smith right now is better than Curtis Samuel. I guess I'd move into this because shortly we'll have on my guy George Camri, and I want him to get a little taste of what we got to say here with the matchups. You want to do that?
Huh?
You want to jump into these matchups real quick?
Yeah.
All right. You asked me earlier who I'd rather have at quarterback, Jared Goff or Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't have a fucking answer for that one. It's pretty fucking close.
I'd probably go Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I want to say Wentz. I just hate that he's injured all the time.
Yeah, it does suck that he's injury prone. It does say, but I feel like he did more with less than Goff did. He went out there and he had a team. He had an MVP caliber season. He pushed the team into the playoffs. Obviously, he got injured, so he wasn't there for the Super Bowl run. But you look at what he did in week 1. He was 21. Or, I'm sorry, that's Goff. Wentz was 27 of 41 with 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 ints. Goff was 21 of 37 with 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 int. And, Goff probably paid the better defense, but still, dude, that's 6 yards in the first quarter. I can't get that picture out of my mind. That is embarrassing.
We ran a lot, too.
Still embarrassing. You got to get more than 6 yards.
I think majority of the time we ran the ball, though. I don't know how many pass attempts he had. I know the back-to-backs, when I was looking at the game log, we didn't start passing until it came close to the half. But I'm with you, though. Goff is limited as a quarterback. We know that. There's a reason why Sean McVay wanted to upgrade at the quarterback position because he felt like that's what you need to do ultimately to win a Super Bowl. Now, can you win a Super Bowl with subpar guys? Yeah, but it's less than likely. Obviously, we've seen Joe Flacco do it. We've seen Trent Dilfer do it. But there's a lot more it guys with Super Bowl fingers or Super Bowl rings on their fingers than Goff guys. Like those barely guys. And I'd say Carson Wentz. The year the Eagles did win the Super Bowl, I think he was honestly on his way to an MVP. I think 13 games played, he had 4,000 yards. I don't know how many touchdowns, but Wentz in his prime was a dog. I think another thing I look at too in terms of the Eagles situation, outside of that Super Bowl year and that Alshon Jeffrey and guys like that, I don't think he's never had that many cold receivers. If I keep it a buck with you, I remember the one year actually I think we destroyed them, but this was the Eagles.
Yeah, no, he never really had too good of receivers.
They may be names on the roster, but they even never healthy together either. So I think Wentz is a lot better than we think. I do think he does have that Matthew Stafford, Brett Favre gene. We might take a little bit extra risk than he should. I think Pat McAfee hated that as a Colts fan. I was watching his show, I think it was yesterday. He was screaming up and down about how sometimes he has some Dear Jesus, that was an amazing throw moment. And then sometimes that's Dear Jesus, why would you throw that moments? And that's Carson Wentz in a bow. But I think I'm taking Wentz. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's tough. Like we said, Wentz is more talented, I think. He has more arm talent. He does make very stupid decisions at some point, but so does Jared Goff. So it's a toss-up, but I'd go Wentz slightly.
Running back, Aaron Gibson or DeAndre Swift. I'm sorry, Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I'm going Swift. I'm going Lions running backs.
All day.
Swift and Williams over Gibson and McKissick.
All day. Receivers.
Although I like Antonio Gibson, like you said, what he did in that first game was pretty impressive. He only had 15 yards on the ground, but he did have 7 catches for 72 yards.
Yeah.
So that's, not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I'm going with Swift still, 144 yards and 14 carries. And when healthy, obviously he's got an ankle issue now, but I think it's more of a maintenance thing. But when healthy, DeAndre Swift's a bad man. There's just no denying
Swift
that.
had 175 total yards, and Gibson had 130 total yards, both in week 1.
Yeah.
So.
And again, I was listening to Scott Turner speak today. It was either today or yesterday. I don't know when he did the press conference, but he said a lot of those, those dump offs, because they're talking about the evolution of Carson Wentz, because typically he's not a dump off guy. He's going all, for the home run. But a lot of those dump offs came because of the Jags, the cushion they were given. So I think obviously Gibson was a beneficiary of that. He's a former wide receiver. Wide receiver room. Do you think, I know you're concerned for our DBs, but do you think collectively those wide receivers are better than ours?
It's tough, man, but I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. I might have to say yes, because I think Terry McLaurin is obviously better than DJ Chark by a lot. Amon-Ra is better than Curtis Samuel.
Is Amon-Ra better than Terry McLaurin?
No.
Just too early to say.
No, he's not. I think Terry McLaurin's a different type of receiver. He's a downfield threat guy that can go up and make contested catches. Terry McLaurin's the best receiver in this game for either side.
I think it's Lions. Amon-Ra's kind of close, honestly.
I don't think so. You think Amon-Ra is close to being like a top 10 receiver in the NFL?
Think Terry's top 10?
Yeah.
I have to make a list.
Yeah.
I have to make a list. Maybe he cracks the bottom of it.
I think Terry's better than Chark. I think I'll give Amon-Ra better than Samuel or Dotson, but I'll take the other one of those two over Josh Reynolds. So I'm going to say the Commanders have the edge.
Tight end, I'm not going to waste the time to ask you. That's us all day.
Tight end is kind of a toss-up, honestly.
Oh, my God.
Their stats are pretty close.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you look at their career stats, they're pretty close. They both really only had one complete season where they played a lot. It was both of them were in 2020. In 2020, Hawkinson went for 67 catches, 723 yards, and 6 touchdowns. In 2020, Logan Thomas went for 72 catches for 670 yards and 6 touchdowns. So it's pretty close. I do think I'll give Hawk a little bit of the edge, but it's pretty close.
Are you on crack today,
Is that
sir?
not close? How is that not close?
No, it's not close.
They have the same amount of touchdowns. Hawkinson has 50 more yards.
You talking about career-wise?
In their they both had one complete year where they played basically the whole year, and that was both in 2020.
You're taking that 1 year because the other years factor in too. Or Hawk
they're both better. Where Hawk was injured for half of it, he was injured for half of them.
Yeah,
I took the 1 year where they both played a majority of the year. The rest of them they've been injured for half of the seasons.
And in that 1 year, Hawk had technically better.
Yeah, 50 more yards.
Okay,
it's close.
All right.
I don't think 50 yards is that much of a gap to say easily. I think it's pretty close.
That's just comparing 1 year, but I think it's easily Hawk. Coming right back with you guys, we have George Camri, Washington Commanders. I got to ask him about that nickname, by the way, the Durs. He'll be joining the show. We're going to be asking him to break down some of the strengths and the weaknesses he sees in this upcoming matchup, and hopefully get a final score prediction from him. Before we do that, though, Spinny, how about you talk about SMA?
SMA, or the Sports Marketing Agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play. They also have private lane reservation, $120 for 10 to 12 people. If you get thirsty, they have a mystery beer vending machine as well as multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at fullingwarehouse.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy, Eazy, joined by my man, Spinmo Rex.
What up, though?
We're Young Sus in the T booth and JB Smooth in the ones and twos. And as promised, we are joined by George Camri. What up, man?
What's up, gentlemen? I love this show, man. It's legit. It's really the first time on here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Joining us, man.
It's been a weird show. We've been arguing all these. I was expecting you to say those things. I don't even know what to say back to him.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
I was feeling it, dude. I gotta give Spencer some credit. I agree with you, man. I agree with a lot of that. So we'll talk about it in a minute, for sure.
For sure.
Of course, the Commanders fan agrees with you.
I'm just saying, man. I was looking at, I was pouring over the stats over the shows.
Objective. I agree with it. It's all good. We'll talk about it.
I'll check. I guess we'll start with that one. Would you rather have Logan Thomas over TJ Hockenson as your tight end?
So it's an interesting conversation. I think Spencer brings up a good point. Logan Thomas, he's a legit tight end. However, he is coming off an ACL injury. He is injured, so he, I don't know if he has a trajectory that TJ Hockenson has this year. Like TJ Hawkinson's an up-and-coming tight end, but in their primes, they were comparable players. The one thing that I do want to say that kind of might tip the scale to Thomas a little bit, I'm saying Hockenson is just as good, but with Carson Wentz, he force-feeds his tight ends. Like over the past 4 years, Carson Wentz is number 3 with his targets to his tight ends, and Lamar Jackson's number 1. So I think if Logan Thomas can actually become healthy and kind of like have his, a stable ACL, I think Carson Wentz is going to force feed him. He's going to have a pretty strong end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. But they're comparable, pick a poison, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. Like I said, I looked at the numbers. Logan Thomas, again, has only had one season where he's played more than 6 games, which is not good. But TJ Hockenson, in his one season where he played more than 12 games, they have pretty similar numbers. So going off of that, what?
It's a Hawk with more. With more numbers.
Yeah, like 50 yards.
Go ahead.
Like 50 yards more, same touchdowns. So pretty similar.
More yards than the other years too, but all right.
Yeah, because Logan Thomas has only played 6 games.
Ask your question.
You're butthurt.
I'm not butthurt. I just
want to know your true feelings of Carson Wentz. Obviously, Eazy has this list that he made before, because Eazy's a Lions slappy, and so he made this list about questionable quarterbacks that the Lions play, and Carson Wentz was on there, and I had. My rebuttal was that Jared Goff is a questionable quarterback as well, so we have him going every week. How do you feel? What is your confidence level with Carson Wentz this year?
Yeah, what was your experience last week with him?
All right, so let me frame everything, right? So Joe Castro put me on this show, and the reason why me and Joe get along pretty well with the Eagles and the Commanders is because I'm real, right? Like, I'm not a homer. I really will keep it as objective as I can. I'm a fan of Carson Wentz. Basically, he is polarizing. He does offer those highs and lows. I think it's a bad rap. Basically, Washington shot for the stars. They tried to get Aaron Rodgers this offseason. They actually put in a bid for Russell Wilson to get him as a quarterback. They offered 3 first-round picks for him. That failed. And unfortunately, it was crazy, right? On Monday, we offered a trade for Russell Wilson. The Seahawks said he wasn't available, right? They trade him on Tuesday to the Broncos. It's like a slap on the face. And then we recover. We basically get Carson Wentz. I always viewed Carson Wentz as, like, in regard to the free agents this offseason, I thought he was the best of the second tier. I thought it was like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, then it was like Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston, Garoppolo, all those guys. So I thought Wentz was honestly better than them. I think he does offer physical talent. I think he's probably the best quarterback that we've had in Washington since probably Kirk Cousins, maybe even RG3. I think he has that physical talent. The problem with Carson is that he does have that cerebral game, and sometimes he can kind of get caught up in negative loops. And I was at the game last week. Eazy asked about it. Dude, in the first half, I was in love. We have a freaking quarterback. The first 2 drives. We threw 2 passing touchdowns our first 2 drives. That's the first time Washington has had, on an opening game, 2 touchdowns on the first 2 series since 1991. When there are 2 touchdown passes. It was nuts, dude. So we definitely had some feudal years over the past couple of years. So just watching him thrive, I was like, hell yeah, we got a quarterback. He throws 2 picks in the second half. One of them was a bad pass. One of them was an out route to Jahan Dotson, who we'll talk about today. It was a fraction late. It was a great play by the cornerback. It was a bad throw. It should have been a pick, right? The second pick, which was one play later, this is where things were going crazy inside the stadium because I was there. Like it was a screen pass. It was a broken screen pass. Trayvon Walker, dude, he's a freak. Dude, he's a freak, dude. So basically, Charles Leno's their left tackle. Was pretty legit, pretty solid. He had Trayvon Walker engaged. Trayvon Walker disengages, dives, gets a pick out of nowhere, and it was like everyone, the air got sucked out of the stadium. Like, oh my God, this is the Carson Wentz we heard about. We're freaking out about. Like, what the hell is going to happen right now? But then comes back Carson Wentz. Like in the next drive, he had a 49-yard bomb to Terry McLaurin, and then he had a 4-minute drive to end the game with Jahan Dotson. I think that's what he offers. I think he does offer that high ceiling. I think Washington fans are excited at the fact that, like, you know, in years past, when we've been down by 7 or 10 points, it might have been a game over. We can't come back. But I think with Carson Wentz, we do have that gunslinger that we can bring us back into the game. I'm a fan. We'll see. You know, it's good. Chapter 1 is done. We have 60 more chapters to go, but I'm a fan after week 1. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of like, as an outside perspective, I am excited for you guys because, you know, I guess it's also the NFC least, but at the same time, the Commanders have been like floating around. Like last year, you guys beat the Bucs. I think you the playoffs the year before that, and you never really had a quarterback per se. And I think Carson Wentz is like your best guy in a while, I'd have to say.
I agree. I think he definitely has the physical talent, and people forget that basically going into week 1 last year, Taylor Heineke wasn't our number 1 option. Basically, it was supposed to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. So people forget that, right? So Ryan Fitzpatrick came on this field. He gets tackled in his first half. He hurts his hip. He's out for the rest of the year. And Taylor Heineke kind of overachieved. Like, I honestly think that people will get mad at me about this in the Washington circles. I view Taylor Heineke like Case Keenum. Like, people kind of view him a little bit higher, like in Washington circles. Like, oh, he's great and he's a gamer and stuff like that. Like, he's Case Keenum because he's a good player. He plays his butt off, but like he's limited, right? So last year he played pretty well. He's a scrambler. He had some great comebacks, but we couldn't even open up the playbook. So I think now with Carson Wentz, 6'5", 240, he towers over Heineke. We actually have a physical specimen now. I think he can do that. It just the question isn't Carson Wentz's arm; it's Carson Wentz's mind. Is he going to be like going to be down? Is he going to be out? Is he going to be not confident? And the one I guess redeeming sign is week 1 we were down by 10 points and we came back and won the game. So in the fourth quarter, so I think that just shows a little bit of moxie with him. So I'm happy with that.
Definitely. And so we've been looking at the camp and what's going on at practice all week, because we had some guys roughed up on the offensive line going into that Eagles game. It continues to happen. We have guys out and missed practice the past couple starters. We had Big V go down. He's done for a long time. We have Rag now, who's missed 2 straight practices. Jonah Jackson has missed 2 straight practices. What is your confidence level with your defensive line, even without having your prize guy in Chase Young out there, to get pressure on Jared Goff going against this offensive line that we don't know exactly who's going to be out there yet?
Our defensive line's pretty good. I'm not going to lie about that. I had, I guess, Matt Derry, he was on my podcast yesterday. He does the Locked On Lions podcast around here, and we were talking about how great your offensive line is. It's really hit or miss, because I think I'll be straight up with you. I think the defensive line's a little bit overrated nationally. People are getting really excited about them because all these first-round picks. But the only one that's consistently dominant is Jonathan Allen, number 93. So when you guys are watching the game, 93, Jonathan Allen's the one that causes all the chaos. He basically had 9 sacks last year as an interior defensive lineman. He's disruptive, but he actually hurt his groin in the fourth quarter basically last week. So hopefully he's a full go going into this week. Deron Payne, a solid player, number 95. He basically, 94, excuse me. He basically, he is a really good stout run defender. He's more of like a run defender as opposed to disruptor, but he had a sack last week as well, and 3 pass blocks, pass pad is down. So I think he'll be pretty solid as well. I think that's the key to the matchup, to be honest with you guys. I think your offensive line, can they inflict their will on us and run against us? I think that's going to be the key to the game. I do think our defensive line will kind of hold up. I'm more worried about the back end with our linebackers and our defensive backs, and we'll talk about that in a minute. That's what I'm more concerned about. A great player that's kind of like on the edge of greatness but kind of not struggling, but hasn't exploded, is Montez Sweat, number 90. He's legit, man. He's a freak. I go to training camp. I'm deep into this Commander stuff. Like he looks like Julius Peppers walking around. He's like a 6'4", runs a 4.3, 4.4 40. He's a beast, dude.
Yeah,
he does. He's legit, man. But the thing is, last week he generated pressure, but didn't get any sacks, and how can he do that without Chase Young? Because he's supposed to have they can always chip and kind of work against him. So without Chase Young, is he going to kind of be fighting uphill? So that's something to keep an eye on. But I think it's legit. I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup, and that's going to be the tail of the tape, I think.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's the battle I'm looking forward to, is our offensive line versus your guys' defensive line, because I'd say your defensive line is the strength of your defense. And another one I'm looking forward to, I guess, and you kind of hinted to it a little bit there, is the linebackers and corners. I think our offense, in terms of T.J. Hockenson, the tight end we were talking about earlier, and DeAndre Swift, I was looking at what's his name, Jamin Davis?
Jamin Davis?
Yeah, I see he was struggling a little bit last week. I was listening to a presser with Jack Del Rio, and he did not hold back. he kind of burned him a little bit. But yeah. And obviously DeAndre Swift, I think he's second behind. We just saw that stat, actually.
Austin Eckler, in terms of all-purpose yards. Obviously, he catches the ball in the backfield, and T.J. Hockenson does what T.J. Hockenson does when healthy. Is that what you were alluding to in terms of concerns with the secondary and the linebacking core?
100%, man. Yeah, I think our linebacking core habitually has been bad for a while. We drafted Jamin Davis in the first round. I think he might have been a little bit overdrafted. If you guys remember, Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera were both linebackers in their NFL career. Mm-hmm. So basically, I think they drafted Jamin Davis based on traits. They saw that he was a kind of a height, weight, speed kind of guy, and thought that they could basically mold him. But he actually had a second-round grade, so I think he is kind of we're starting to see that learning curve and that weakness, because he played 14 games in Kentucky, and then he's trying to become a starter in the NFL at the Mike position last year, but they had to move him to weak linebacker this week. I do think that's going to be to be wise for the Lions, they should attack our linebackers. What happened last week with the Jaguars is they would use creative formations and put Christian Kirk, who is their slot wide receiver, on Jamin Davis. And a slot on Jamin Davis is a mismatch for the offense. He walked away with 6 catches for 117 yards. So I definitely think you guys can exploit that matchup there, because I do think Jamin Davis, he has a weakness. Jamin Davis is still learning the game. And then Cole Holcomb, our other linebacker, he's solid. He's a B-, but he just has limitations. You can beat him too. So linebackers are definitely weak, and our cornerbacks are not deep, and I don't know if you want me to go into that now or later, but we can talk about that later.
For sure.
Yeah, we got to pay some bills real quick. Would you mind hanging with us through a break?
Of course, man, no doubt.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Well, if you guys want to get a fresh cut before this Lions game to see, what's going on with the Lions Commanders in this must-win game for Detroit, all you got to do is come to Lady Jane's, because as you know, we broadcast this show live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Birmingham. It's definitely awesome when I get off the show. If I want to, clean up my dead ends a little bit, maybe take an inch or two off, I can sit down on one of those chairs, and I know my girls, Alyssa or Megan, will take care of me. So I highly recommend you get into a Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men near you and let them treat you like a king as well. They're open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. So like I said, walk in, sit down, no appointment necessary, because at Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and we'll be right back with more from George Camri.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Guys, I tell you this all the time. If you're spending your money, you're gambling your money, be smart and utilize OddsTrader.com to shop for your best odds. What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my man Spin Mo Rex.
What up, though?
We got Young Sus to the TD booth. My guy JB Smooth, the ones and twos. And once again, we are joined by George Camri. Thank you for joining us, man. Before we went to break, we asked you, I guess, one of the concerns coming in the game as our offense attacks your defense. But if I may, can I ask them our weaknesses? Or,
yeah, go ahead.
What are your perceived weaknesses for the Lions in terms of keys to the game for your team?
So what I'm hearing is that your defense really isn't the strongest in the world either, right? It's kind of going on. Right?
Yeah.
I keep hearing that your linebackers are a little bit weak and your secondary a little bit weak. And it's kind of funny because I think we kind of mirror each other in that regard. I think that's kind of our weak spots as well. So I do expect it to kind of be a higher scoring game between both of us, to be honest with you. I think our offense is pretty legit. Like, I know I'm not trying to be a homer or anything like that, but like I think Spencer mentioned it before. Terry McLaurin, I think he honestly is underrated across the league. I think he's one of the better top 15 wide receivers in the league for sure. Jahan Dotson, I knew about him all at training camp. I was telling all my Eagle content creators, look, he's from Penn State. You guys know about him. He's legit, and he actually came out and scored 2 touchdowns in the first game. And then Curtis Samuel, man, we'll see what happens this week, but they use him like Deebo Samuel light, man. They had him in the backfield. They're doing jet sweeps with him and things like that. They're using him like a multi-faceted weapon, and I'm like, you know what? Between that and Antonio Gibson and Logan Thomas is coming back, and then one more thing is that Cole Turner. He's kind of like a sleeper. It's gonna be his first time playing this weekend in the pros. He was Nevada's tight end. He's 6'7". He played with Carson Strong, and he's more of like a Jimmy Graham type. He won't block worth a damn. He'll be in the slot, and he can basically catch up the seam. So basically, it's going to be interesting. And I think I think it's funny. Everyone thinks on the national level, those that don't know the Commanders too well, think we're a defensive-minded team. I think we're more of an offensive-minded team. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. So that's going to be the matchup. I perceive, you guys, I would love to hear from you guys. I heard defensive backs are kind of weak, and I heard that linebackers are weak. But I watched the game against the Eagles. I like a guy Walker, man, the safety. I think he's a pretty good player.
Yeah. Tracy Walker is by far the best player in our secondary, and
for sure.
He lost his temper, got kicked out of that game, and we didn't see more of that.
I love it. That's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, you need that fight out of somebody, but he definitely needs to stay in there in this game against these guys, because that was my topic I brought in coming into the show. I'm really high on Terry McLaurin. I think he's a great receiver, and I look at the speed across the board with your guys' receiving core. Terry McLaurin had a 4.35. Curtis Samuel 4.31, Jahan Dotson a 4.43, and our cornerbacks, they are trying to do this new press coverage, attack at the line of scrimmage, stuff the guy, because I like Amani Omowarie as one of our corners, but he's not the fastest guy. Same with Jeff Okudah, who is coming off an Achilles injury. He was fast, he was a good guy there, but he might have lost a step because of that Achilles injury. So I'm worried about them missing that block on the line of scrimmage, and your guys burning them not being able to catch up. What does the speed element look like with the wide receiving core that the Commanders bring out every day?
It's nice. I wouldn't necessarily, we do have those burners. If you look at the stats, we do 4.3, 4.4 guys. However, I would say they're more nuanced runners. That's what I kind of like about them. That's why I think it transfers. I'm a big draft guy as well, and I Drake London, for instance. I don't like guys with huge catch radius and those guys that have contested catches. I don't like those guys at all. I'd rather have guys that are quicker and have great nuanced running. And I think that's what we offer here. I think Terry McLaurin is a fast guy. As you saw, he scored a 49-yard touchdown last week. But he's the type of guy that's going to do a great hitch. He's a guy that's going to do a good slant. He's going to do a good drag across the middle. He's going to get open kind of in a workman's kind of way, and I think he has that. Jahan Dotson is the same way. It's kind of Jahan Dotson is pretty much mini-me in regard to Terry McLaurin, the way they talk and speak. Watch some of the interviews. They act exactly the same way. They're humble workers, which I do like about that. And then Curtis Samuel, I was surprised. I'll be honest with you, he went undrafted in all my fantasy leagues, and people weren't really high on him because he had a core surgery last summer. He had a groin injury last season, and basically we didn't even know what to expect from him. But he go back and watch the film. He shook the hell out of a couple players last week, and I was completely surprised by that. Mm-hmm. So I think they're more shifty as opposed to burners, but I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or bad thing against your guys. We'll see how it goes.
For sure.
Now, I have a question, I guess, in terms of our defense. Now, I know, obviously, our secondary, it is a bit shaky. We are hopeful they're better. Tracy Walker, we have Deshaun Elliott now, too, which he got some PT in Baltimore, but never really was never like I guess anyone to be proud of, I guess you should say. But our defensive line, we did draft Aiden Hutchinson. You said you're a draft guy. We have Charles Harris, who has 7.5 sacks last year. How is your guys' offensive line, and does our defensive line threaten or scare you at all, especially actually after watching the game versus the Eagles?
So I watched the Eagles game. You guys had a lot of pressure and a lot of blitzes, and I do respect Hutchinson. I think he kind of got a bad rap week one. I know some of the murmurs out of the Detroit is like, oh, he underperformed week one or whatever it was. But dude, come on, Jalen Hurts, RPO. You kind of set him up for failure. That's not a good, welcome to the league kind of game for him. So I think he definitely can generate pressure. I saw him in the preseason. I saw him on Hard Knocks. I saw him generate pressure. So he got that skill. But I'm not even being like. Our offensive line is a bunch of middling guys, but we have an excellent coach, John Matskow. He basically he has really elevated our offensive line. He did so last year, and he's doing so after week one. The Jaguars do have Trayvon Walker. They have a couple of other pretty standout people on the line. I think we only got 1 sack on us, and I think in regard to PFF pass blocking rate, we're 3rd overall in the league. I mean, that's only 1 game, 1 sample size, but Carson Wentz had a lot of time to distribute the ball last week, so it looked pretty good. And I'm pretty confident in the offensive line, but I do honestly believe you guys will give a good test, especially if you guys look more exotic blitzes. If you guys line up 4 and 5 or whatever you guys are going to try to do, I don't think that'll be effective. But if you guys start being creative and throw some blitzes at us, that could potentially put Wentz in bad situations and throw some turnovers, which he does.
For sure. And so you mentioned you watched Hard Knocks. It was a lot of people were taken away with the personalities on the Lions coaching staff. And I try to ask different people this outside of Detroit. What are your reflections? What are your thoughts of Dan Campbell? Because he is a polarizing figure. He has the bite the kneecaps. He has the wearing the racing helmet to practice, doing stuff, crying in the interviews. We love him here in Detroit because he's no nonsense. Coming off of Matt Patricia, who is the complete opposite of this guy and ruined a playoff team. He's trying to turn this around and do it his way. What is an outside of Detroit person's perspective of Dan Campbell?
I like the passion. I do think that he is inspirational. I don't know if he's the kind of guy that can take you to that next level. I want to say the same thing about Ron Rivera. I'll go there in a second. There are some people that kind of set the tone and set the culture, and I think Dan Campbell can do that, right? You tell me. I don't know if he's an X and O guy or an X and O savant that could take you to that next level. I don't perceive that. From the outside perspective. But I don't honestly see that with Ron Rivera either. I think Ron Rivera kind of the Commanders. Has so much turnover and controversy, all these nasty things that are going on around here. He's making this a professional organization, but he's a little bit old school. I don't think he's that Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay guy. I think he's going to kind of set the stage, and someone else is going to kind of clean up eventually. And I'm hoping it's Scott Turner, our offensive coordinator. I kind of like him as a potential high riser, so maybe he can go that way. But that's how I see Campbell. I like the energy. I'm glad you guys are happy with him because I just had an interview with someone else yesterday. They said you guys love him. I'm like, that's awesome. If you guys love him, that's fantastic. And it sounds like Patricia was kind of an asshole. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But
he was an asshole.
Patricia was a total fucking asshole. We all hated that guy.
Go ahead. All right, cool.
He took like I said, a playoff team, got rid of all the blessed, drove out Darius Slay, drove out Quandre Diggs, made Glover Quinn retire, ruined that team, and now we have a guy in Dan Campbell. Like you said, he's not the best X's and O's guy, but he surrounded himself with guys like Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, our offensive and defensive coordinators, who are great X's and O's guys. So I really hope it can work out for the guy.
Yeah, the kind
for sure.
Kind of mirrors what you got going on, leader, head coach, and then X's and O's guys surrounded around him. Final question, man. We got to pay some more bills and wrap up the show, and I appreciate you joining us. What is your prediction for this game? How do you see it going? And if you feel comfortable enough, throw out a score. Don't feel bad. I hate throwing out scores because you never know what the hell's going to happen.
It's hard throwing out scores for sure.
It's so hard, dude.
It's so hard. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Washington guy, man, but I'll say one thing real quick, right? Detroit's won 4 of the last 5 matchups, right? So you guys have done a pretty good job against us. So you guys are not going to be easy matchup. But I do think when it comes down to it, I think Washington's going to win. I think we got to get a bad rap on the national level. But if you look at us for over the past 6 years, we average about 7 to 8 wins. We're an average team. We're not we're not a horrible team. We're on the rise. And I think we were 7-10 last year with Heineke. I think Wentz is better. I think the tail of the tape is going to be who has the least amount of turnovers. So if Carson Wentz acts like a fool, then throw this out the window. But I think if things come out pretty even for the most part, I think Washington will pull it out. And probably by a couple points. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout by any means. It's gonna be like, I'd say a high-scoring game, like 27-28 or something like that. It's gonna be a high-scoring, maybe even breaking the 30s, which would be awesome. I'd love to watch that. It'd be fun.
For sure.
You think they're doing it through the air or on the ground?
I think it's gonna be through the air, man. So like this for you guys watching, so to give you like insider tip or whatever it is, the way for Washington to win is for Carson Wentz 3-step drop, get rid of the ball. Just don't be a hero. 3-step drop, give it to Dotson, give it to McLaurin, give it to Samuel, let them create yards after catch. And I hope that's what they do. If he starts like doing like these like 7-step drops, 5-step drops, he's gonna start doing some bad things and running around and be a hero, throw picks. That's not what I want him to do. And I think everybody knows that. Like, from what I'm catching, it's like he's a point guard. We're trying to make him a point guard here. Just get rid of the ball, let those guys do the work, and see how it goes.
For sure. Appreciate you for joining us, man. It was a lot of fun. We might have to get your reaction after the game and see how that went.
I would love that. That'd be awesome. It'd be really cool.
But before you leave, just shout out your channel, shout out where people can find you, what you're doing, and what's going on there.
I appreciate it, man. And guys, honestly, I'm on a lot of podcasts. This is freaking professional work, man. I love this. This is really well done. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on. My name is George Camri. You can find me at Twitter at gcarmi21. I write for FullPressCoverage.com, which is a written webpage for all sports. I also have a YouTube channel, Full Press Commanders with George Camri. Definitely follow me, guys. I just started recently, so I want to build it up. I love it if you guys give me a follow. So thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you, man. Have a great night. Well, hopefully that game doesn't work out the way you want it to, but we'll see what's going on there.
I'm down, man. Sounds good. Have fun, guys. Take care.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Well, if the Lions want to win this game, they're going to need a lot of help out of their defense because that offense can be scary if they're clicking. And if you want the best defense, all you have to do is go to Guardian Alarm because Guardian Alarm keeps you safe and gives you peace of mind all day, every day. With their 24/7 local monitoring, they make sure the things that are important to you stay safe. Whether you're at home or on the road, they give you the protection that you need. All you have to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT today. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT and let them know Woodward Sports sent you. That's Guardian Alarm. They keep you safe. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and we'll be right back.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for Big Frog in Novi, and right now you can get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. All you have to do is go down there, tell them we sent you, and they will print you out one on the spot. So make sure you go to Big Frog Novi today and let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy, he's joined by my man Spinbo Rex.
What up, though?
We got Young Substance today with my guy JB Smooth on the ones and twos. JB, I know we've been going at it all damn day. You're one of the, for sure, football fans, so I know you're jumping into it and learning it as we go. But what do you guys think of some of the conversations we had today, both, I guess, between Spence and I and George, when it comes to Detroit Lions and the Durs? I forgot to ask him about that name, by the way.
The Durs. I don't know. I think you guys are both even. I mean, I like my man George. He does know a lot about the Commanders. I give him credit for that for sure. I'm still not pulling them as a victor over us on Sunday, so I'm still rooting for the Lions with us. But then again, you got to look at Vegas and where the money is going. Of course, we started this week as 2.5 favorites. Now we're down to 1.5. So you got to think that they're looking at the matchups a little bit more and second guessing that 2.5 that they gave us early to start off this week. But still, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Yeah. 1.5.
And I want to go on the record saying that I do think TJ Hockenson is a better tight end than Logan Thomas.
He is.
But I don't think it's this crazy gap. Like, I think, give Logan Thomas the same love and he can produce certain numbers. We've seen it. You know, when he does get that kind of love, when he has that kind of run, he puts up similar numbers. But I do think TJ is a better tight end.
For sure, yeah.
But I don't think it's a huge gap. Like, it's not like George Kittle compared to Noah Fant or something like that, you know. I think they're both in the same kind of realm. Yeah. TJ might be a little higher.
Yeah, so TJ's different tier for sure. Just dropped the cap in my water, so that sucks. And my chair's sinking. What the hell's going on right now?
Falling apart.
I am falling apart. Shout out to George. That was I liked what I had to hear. Yeah. And you know what? I think part of I didn't know the spread dropped a point. That's interesting to hear. I think that might have to do a little bit with the
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And even if those guys do end up playing, just the fact that they're banged up. And the strength of me shrinking?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Slowly.
I'm trying to adjust the shit.
You're fine. You're fine. Just go to Spinny. I'll stand up.
I'm following you.
Fine.
I'm playing.
No, yeah, just go back up because I'm gonna just fix my chair. I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah. So great conversation with George. He brought a lot of insight. He said himself he keeps it. You know, he tries to keep it 100. He doesn't get too biased on his fandom, and I think he did well at that. He does have, you know, Carson Wentz, I think he can make some problems for the secondary if they run the right game plan. So I am a little worried on that. We'll get into more of that. But now we're going to talk about Dan the Man Campbell, who he said he likes. He said he likes Dan Campbell. He said he's glad we like Dan Campbell. You know, I feel like it's hard to not like Dan Campbell after what you saw out of him in Hard Knocks and different stuff like that when you're looking from an outsider's perspective on the city of Detroit and the state of the Detroit Lions. But Dan Campbell, they brought it up on the morning show about different coaches that might be on the hot seat, what's going on there. And if Dan Campbell loses this week against the Washington Durs, against the DC Durs, is Dan Campbell on the hot seat for this job with the Detroit Lions?
Honestly, as much as I hate to say it, I think so at this point. I've been saying this all week, guys. I think this game is a must-win, not just because of what it means to the season, because obviously we've been over the stat of 0-2 teams that haven't made the playoffs since 2018. There's been a team that started the season 0-2 to make the playoffs. On top of the fact that when you're just as charismatic or just expressive as Dan Campbell is, I mean, crying at the podium, all the crazy speeches, all the crazy like motivating tactics, the baby powder on the jeans and stuff like that. Like, when you believe
that was a little cringe.
That was a little cringe. Yeah. Exactly, and that's the point I'm getting to here too. Is like when you trust that human being who's doing those things, you're searching for the message in those conversations. I'm saying, when that trust is broken, however, you're then able to laugh and you know what I'm saying, mock them a little bit, because it's all led to nothing at this point. You know what I'm saying? All the theatrics, everything, all the helmet on, the crying at the press conference and stuff like that. Yeah, those are true feelings, and they can even be true words. But at this point, without a victory over a team, again, that I think they're expected to win against, and maybe if there's a couple of injuries, maybe it'd be a little bit more easier to swallow, but no, man, I think that rah-rah stuff only lasts so long. And you need to win for it to matter, for it to even like have any type of resonance with you at all. You're so distracting. I never do this shit when you're talking. You're such a piece of shit. But I think those words start to lose a little bit of weight in them. And let me get it like straight to like, I love Dan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? I'm just excited as you guys are. Mm-hmm. The things he said, the culture he's brought, I believe all that stuff is very true. But he said it himself. If it doesn't come with wins, it's all for nothing.
Yes.
And if, again, you said, 15 games at this point out of 19 we would have lost?
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
It is not a good look. I kind of want to push back on it a little bit, because we know what he was brought into. We know the roster he was given. It was a decimated roster. It was nothing that was going to win any games anytime soon. He is rebuild. They're in a rebuild, flat out.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I didn't expect them to win much this year. I had them at 7-10. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. This game, I expected them to win. I had this as their first win. I still expect them to win. If he goes out there and loses, I don't know if he'll be on the hot seat per se, because he still has time. He still doesn't have his full team yet. I feel like people realize that.
That's fair.
The defense still needs a lot of work. He still doesn't have his guy at quarterback. He has made some nice changes to try to improve that offense. But it definitely doesn't make you feel comfortable about his position.
Yeah, I guess, let me say too, like, I guess in terms of, like, realistically him getting fired over, or like actually being on a hot seat and being terminated at the end of the year, no, I don't say that I foresee that in this situation. But I'm just talking about my belief in Dan Campbell.
It will definitely,
and the players as well.
The city and the players will lose faith in him for sure.
Yeah.
If he goes, because like he said, like you said, mustache itching my nose. Like he said, like you said, they need wins. You know, the rah-rah, that stuff's cool. The double shot, the kneecaps, all that.
It becomes a joke.
It becomes a joke. If you're going, come on, man, I love you guys, man. You just got to believe in me, man. Like, we can only believe in you to a certain extent until we start winning. Yeah. So you'll definitely take everything with a grain of salt. And maybe the stuff you saw, you know, before where it was like, hell yeah, Dan Campbell crying at the post games, getting these guys hyped up. I love that. I love that energy. After this loss, maybe you're like, all right, man, you know, shut up. Go out there and win a game. Maybe his players look at that stuff like, all right, Dan, come on. Like, we need to start winning a game. Stop it with the baby powder.
Yeah.
You know, we need to win some games. Maybe that is what happens in the locker room. But I don't think he's on the hot seat just yet, even if he loses this week. But you'll definitely start to look at him a little differently. Look at him in a little different, you know, shade.
His leadership 100%
15 losses in your first 19 games, no matter how bad your team is, does not leave a good taste in anybody's mouth.
Yeah, because as much as, like, you could say the roster, watch the Commanders. They haven't had a roster in quite a bit, I'd say. They've managed to, like he said, they've managed to, like, float and stay average. I think you look again at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, they ended up with a worse record than us. However, they beat some you know, pretty good teams within there. You know what I'm saying? I think the Jets are an example of that too. The Jets, I think, have a horrendous roster.
Yeah.
I mean, they have, like, maybe quite a few spots that I'm sorry, hey, but, like, you know, the coach over there, I can't think of his name. You know, he's from Robert Saleh. He's able to muster up a couple wins with something I think is even worse. You know what I'm saying? But what else, Sus? I know you wanted to speak on this one.
Well, you went to it easy when you said that it's not hot seat, it's that he loses the locker room. Or Spencer, you were the one that said that. And that's what this is to me. Is he on the hot seat? Hot seat to me is you're being fired. So realistically, no, after an 0-2 start. But you do lose the locker room. And the reason I just can't see the Lions firing Dan Campbell mid-season unless it's something horrendous.
No. I'm not saying that at all.
Truth be told, they're also okay with, you know, with getting a quarterback in the draft. Like, they do not want to lose this season, but I think they would ride it out even if they realize that he's not the guy right now.
Yeah, and
worst case scenario, I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? There's 100% trouble in paradise, and all the stuff you find endearing.
Honeymoon's over.
Becomes a joke.
Honeymoon's over. You know, the post-nut syndrome starting to wear in.
Yeah,
starting to be like,
that's a perfect way to say it.
Shit, is this really something that I want to do? Do I really want to call her back tomorrow? Like, you know, am I leaving, you know, money for Uber and I'm dipping? Yeah. Like, you know, you're starting to look at it differently if you lose here against the Commanders.
I used to have this girlfriend, and, like, she used to say, because I'm messy. I'm a messy guy.
Yeah.
And I leave a message. She'd be like, oh, it's so cute. I leave messages like, year 2 in the relationship. It's not cute anymore. It's like, pick up your fucking shit.
Come on, fat ass, clean up everything.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it's one of those situations, man. It's no longer cute. JB, are we tripping or what? Are you nervous for Dan Campbell? If we lose this game, are you like, fuck? You get a little Positional clarity?
If we lose this game, I'm not nervous, but my faith in him is probably going down a little bit more. As Spencer and you guys said, you start to lose that connection and that relationship in the locker room. If anything, you're starting to lose fans at Ford Field.
Yes.
Because, I mean, come on. There's only so much that we can take. You know, we want wins out here, but give the man some credit. He's only in year 2 of 6 of his contract.
I agree.
He's still getting guys in there that he really wants, and, you know, he really sees that can play out there. So give the man a little bit of credit. He's not in the hot seat, but it is getting a little warm.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. That's actually a perfect way to sum it up.
Yeah.
It's not a hot seat, but it's getting warm.
For sure.
And I know he's waiting for his quarterback, but nonetheless, let me tell you guys about Centron, okay? I'm pretty sure that's what Dan Campbell drinks before he goes up and makes those damn speeches, all right? Centron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And right now, you can get their limited edition 6-pack sampler box at CentronWorld.com/Red Wings. Guys, it's got the cranberry, all right? They got the classic. and they got the sugar-free. You trying to slim down. Maybe you want to exit out of the heavyweight tier. I don't know why you want to do that. We still getting hoes, okay? Make sure you guys check it out, man. Citron! Football Heavyweights will be right back. There's...
You're an ugly guy, and that's okay because you've outkicked your coverage with your significant other. Well, that's good news for you. Their hotness and your notness could get you front row tickets. The Woodward Sports Network is giving you a chance to sit front row for the Detroit versus Washington football game. That's right. We're looking for the ugliest guy and the hottest girl. So fellas, come on. If you know you've outkicked your coverage, here's your chance. Post a pic of you and your superior-looking partner on Twitter or Instagram with hashtag Woodward Front Row. Follow us and tag at Woodward Sports. Hurry, because we'll be selecting a winner September 16th. We can't wait to see you. Well, her. From the network that always outkicks the competition. Woodward Sports.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Monroe Street Midway, presented by Bedrock Detroit and Rocket Mortgage. Bedrock basically turned an old parking lot into a massive outdoor playground. They have basketball courts, a mini golf course, food trucks, live music performances, and art installations, all by Detroit artists. So make sure, if you're out on the town, you're hanging out with some friends, you're taking your loved one out for a date, you go check out the Monroe Street Midway, because it's right in the heart of the city. It's right next to Campus Marshes, and it's a great time to have fun. The only things you have to pay for are the roller skating and the food, but everything else is free. So go check out the Monroe Street Midway, presented by Bedrock Detroit.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy, he's joined by my man, Spin More Rex.
What up, though?
You got Young Sus in the TV booth, my guy JB Smooth with the ones and twos. Shout out to him for playing the tunes. But I want to address something. I forgot who commented it. Maybe it was Paul Thomas. I'm not 100% sure. But I see some nonsense, in my opinion, going on in this YouTube chat. And once again, guys, we're at 59 likes. What are we doing?
Yeah, pump those numbers up.
At least 69. That's like a rule here. But nonetheless, some nonsense going on in the chat. I see a comment that says, if you're firing Dan Campbell, you have to fire Brad Holmes. Nah. They don't correlate like that. Yeah. And again, it's not in a sense that I'm saying Brad Holmes is better than Dan Campbell or above Dan Campbell. Well, technically, he is above Dan Campbell in the GM role or the head coach role. But in the head coach role, you are the day-to-day leader. You are the voice going in and out these players' ears, and you are, whether you convince them or you don't convince them, like, that is your job. I'm saying you got to teach them, convince them. You're a coach. You coach them up. Brad Holmes' job is acquiring players for that head coach to then cook with and apply to winning football games. If this doesn't work out, and again, this is just like game 2. The seat's getting warm, not hot, but if this doesn't work out, this is a Dan Campbell coaching issue, not a Brad Holmes drafting issue. I think it's quite fair to say Brad Holmes has been killing his drafts outside of the second round. But, you know what I'm saying, he's getting guys all over. Malcolm Rodriguez, ranked 12th overall in PFF rankings in terms of all linebackers. As a 6th-round pick, I think any coach would be glad to have that guy, making draft picks for him. They don't correlate in that way.
Yeah, and it's not like Brad Holmes went out and pursued Dan Campbell and like that's his guy and he went out and got him. Like, they were hired in very close succession of each other. So, I mean, I'm sure Brad Holmes had something to say about it, but it wasn't like a full...
It was a Sheila move.
Yeah, it was a Sheila move.
Dan called Sheila. And yeah,
she went, she
does what Dan does. He's a very convincing voice.
So, it's, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, it doesn't correlate in that way at all. Like Brad Holmes, and you could say, Dan Campbell doesn't have his quarterback. What's the argument you make for Brad Holmes? Brad Holmes doesn't have his quarterback. But however, Dan Campbell with Jared Goff, we've seen Jared Goff go to Super Bowl. We've seen Jared Goff win divisions, you know what I'm saying? And a tougher division at that point, too. The NFC West, back in its heyday, was a problem. You had the 49ers, the Seahawks, and obviously the Rams, and the Cardinals, too. Another point I want to say, too, is like, you could say that he hasn't drafted his quarterback. As I said, Jared Goff is more than capable quarterback. I spoke on the New York Jets last year with a better record than us, losing their first-round quarterback, Zach Wilson, who then still was a rookie, but they've won games with Zach White, Joe Flacco, and some like good games, and that's a hell of a division too. Mm-hmm. You got the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rob Sala's a damn good coach, but I'm saying, like, if he's able to win those games with, again, an arguably worse roster, there's no excuse for Dan Campbell to get a couple of them here at this point, especially against the Commanders at home.
Yeah.
Like, it's just warm. I love Dan Campbell. I'll say it again. But the seat gets warm. I think the message dies down a little bit. It doesn't hold the same weight.
Definitely. You gotta show them something. Like, you gotta go out there and win. That's what you're brought here to do, is to win games. Even if you were given a terrible roster your first year, even if you were given, a subpar quarterback after you're the best quarterback in franchise history just got traded away. You need to go out there and you need to manufacture some wins. And yeah, these one-score games look great, but they're still L's. Yep. It doesn't make you feel any better. These kind of fake comebacks to where we came back against the Eagles and we almost won that game, even though we never had the ball in a one-score game in the fourth quarter. So it doesn't really matter, these comebacks, until they result in wins.
Yeah.
Wins are what matter. Wins are what fans cares about. Wins are what fans want to see. And so if you don't do that, people are going to turn on you fast.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah, I'm looking to not only the Jets, like, obviously end up with a better record than us. That's why I fell further in the draft. But they also beat teams like the Titans. They beat the Bengals last year. And again, this is all without Zach Wilson, the guy they drafted to be their guy.
Mark Watt.
In the first round. So
Mark Watt.
Lightning. And I don't want to like clear this too. Like, we're not hating on Dan Campbell. Like, you're a fan of Dan Campbell too, correct?
I like Dan Campbell a lot.
I like Dan Campbell too. He's gone out and told you this himself, guys. If it doesn't result in wins, it's all for nothing. He knows this. I think that's why he's so damn passionate.
For sure.
But yeah. Speaking of passionate, I don't even know how to handle this one. You're about to hit me with some other crazy shit. You've been on some crazy shit all day.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook. Go ahead, throw this graphic up. So it's Russell Westbrook. It's beyond just like a little Twitter rumor, and it's reportedly coming from league execs at this point. Russell Westbrook becoming a Detroit Piston. This is a little trade scenario.
Get some help.
Thank you. It's a little trade scenario in terms of like a cap swap where you have. Go ahead and read that one for me, Speedy. I apologize. I'm almost 30.
Yeah, you would have to. So Russell Westbrook has a $47 million salary. So for the Pistons to take that salary on, they'd have to give up Corey Joseph, Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks, Kemba Walker, Kelly Olynyk. That would total the $46.7 million. So that would equal your total for Russell Westbrook. That would leave the Pistons with a balanced young ground zero roster of Cade Killian and Saban Lee, Ivy, Hami, and Rodney Magruder.
What up, Hami?
Sadiq Bey, Livers, and Bernard. Isaiah Stewart, Kevin Knox, Braxton Key, and then Bagley, Duran, and Potter. So it'll leave your rosters pretty bare. It would take away, the things that you need. But I think Troy Weaver brought these guys in, and Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel to be trade pieces this year anyways, to move on from and try to get something from, because I don't think he thinks they're going to be difference makers in a team that is this young.
But can they be retraded this early? I don't think they can yet.
I don't know.
Because there's that 60-day rule, of a recently acquired player. Well, I'm going to look it up, see if I can find it.
The other thing, too, is I don't even... Well, no, because actually Kemba is on the roster.
Yeah, he's still on the roster.
Yeah.
It's... Yeah, I mean... the 60-day rule, the stipend rule? No, that's the first round picks. Whatever.
Yeah, stipend is protecting picks. Like you can't trade multiple picks back to back.
But trading guys immediately.
But there's a trade rule.
Which is weird though, because remember that day. Maybe because the trades weren't made official, but Mike Miller got traded 3 times in one day.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, that was before the rule.
That was before. That's probably why they made the rule.
Yeah, probably.
Mike Miller's getting tossed around like a old girl.
Fun fact: there's a trade rule because of Antonio McDyess.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was traded in the Chauncey Billups AI trade, Denver Piston trade, Pistons knew that he didn't want to stay in Denver, so Denver bought him out. Yeah. And the Pistons just immediately re-signed him. So now if you get traded, you can't sign with that team for that season.
So I see everybody talking, no, we don't want Russell Westbrook on this team. Why the fuck would we want Russell Westbrook on this team?
Well, hold on.
This is the last year of his contract.
Bro, no. I don't care.
You bring him in for 1 year and get two first-round picks for it, and you're going to say no to that?
I don't give
That is blasphemous.
Fuck, no.
Why?
I don't want Russell Westbrook on this team at all. Dude's toxic. No
for 1 year. For 1 year.
He's no good. No.
You're not. This team's not going to be that good anyways.
You can literally bench him.
Yeah.
You can do what they did with John Wall and get a
benched.
Lakers 2029 pick maybe. Who's going to be on the Lakers roster in 2029?
Yeah. Nobody.
Exactly.
I'm good on that. I'm so straight on this Russell Westbrook stuff. We do have to go to break. Adam Bay doing the chat. Fuck this topic. I'd rather eat my own shit. This is Adam Bay doing the Morning Woodward Show from 8 to 10. We're going to continue it. We're going to continue it.
Makes absolutely no sense to me.
AD will be in a nursing home with that stripper.
Fuck no.
Makes no sense to me at all.
Come party with us.
Trading all the old veterans.
Come
on this
party
roster
with us
nobody wants
downtown
anyways for
at
an
the
extra
Brass
draft pick.
Rail before the Detroit Lions game. Pre-gaming with the heavyweights, Braylon, Armani. Maz out of town. He's got a wedding. He's too good for us. Stick. I told you guys, Stick's not never get a nice shot. And low-key, Stick be getting free drinks. Everywhere we go, I think I've ever seen Stick pay for a drink. I'm not lying. But either way, come party with us, guys. We'll be downtown at the Brass Rail. Every home game on the Sundays, of course, at 1 o'clock, as it is as always, from 11 to 1. Party with us at the Brass Rail. And don't forget, tomorrow we are giving away 2 front row tickets when you win the Outkick Your Coverage contest. Send in a picture of you and your beautiful partner. If you're the ugly one, it counts as Outkicking Your Coverage. You're going to win 2 front row tickets to Detroit Lions. Do make sure you head over. What's the hashtag on Twitter?
Hashtag Woodward Front Row.
Woodward Front Row. And nonetheless, come party with us. Woodward Heavyweights. We'll be right back. I'll be doing some more bitching about Russell Westbrook.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries are back at Big Boy. It's not the Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. And guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries to chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, or nacho fries? Sounds pretty damn good to me. So come satisfy your taste buds at Big Boy.
Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy Easy Joe. My man Spin More Racks. We got Young Sussex, TV JB Smooth on the 1s and 2s. We're talking Russell Westbrook to Detroit Pistons. This is from a verified account, Sean Vinery, I believe the name was, reported by NBA Central on Twitter. And supposedly, there was a GM within basketball. I have the quote here too. Let me find it real quick. Dude, this is pissing me off. I get, you get the first round compensation. And maybe in like a roundabout way, too, this does put us in contention to get Wanna Bang Your Mama. I might just talk myself into that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, are we so scared as Pistons fans to lose Corey Joseph and Kelly Olynyk and Nerlens Noel. Those guys are difference makers. We need those guys on our team to bring in Russell Westbrook for the last year of his contract and get a free fucking first-round pick. Like, you're not bringing him in here. Somebody said this is the same as Blake Griffin. This is not the same as Blake Griffin.
Not at all.
You're not bringing him in here to lead this team to the playoffs, make this team be the next. You're literally taking dead weight from the Lakers to get draft compensation. You're not bringing him in here to change the franchise. You're not bringing him in here on a 4-year deal. You're bringing him in for the last year of his contract, giving away all of the guys you're going to lose in a year anyways, and getting a free first-round pick for it. It's like, it blows my mind that people are so adamantly against this. It does nothing but help the team. Nothing but help the team. The team's not going to be crazy freakishly good anyways. And if you think that Corey Joseph, Kelly Olynyk, Alec Burks, and Nerlens Noel are these kind of difference makers and these kind of guys that you have to hold on to and you can't get a free damn first-round pick for, I don't know what to tell you. You're watching the wrong sport.
I want 2 first-round picks. Even the NBA trade machine gives the Lakers a net positive of 3 wins in that trade, and the Pistons go a net -5 wins if we make that trade, acquiring Russell Westbrook. But here's my thing, because we did this with Jeff Freddie on the show. We had the Path A scenario and Path B scenario. Chris, if I'm not mistaken, you wanted Path B where we made the playoffs or the play-in.
Yes, but
if we take Russ, that's then you're choosing Path A.
Well, those were 2 different scenarios. I don't think he thinks that is going to happen.
Right.
But I guess why would you want him in this situation versus like
because I wanted Path B as well.
Well,
but I don't think it's reasonable. I don't think that's going to happen.
What?
That we make the play-in, that we do that Cade goes for all those points and makes an all-star team. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it was given to me on a platter, yeah, I'm going to take it.
What up, Sus?
Let me ask you a question. What is the most valuable asset the Pistons could get what is the most valuable asset the Pistons could get?
What do you mean? In this trade?
Draft capital.
Yes, but specifically
first-round picks.
First-round picks in the future, 2007, 2029, when you project that Cade will be under a max contract. Because the best thing in the NBA is when you have your stars and you luck out and you get that lottery pick. Yeah. That lottery pick that ends up jumping to being something crazy, or really just you nail the pick itself. Yeah. That's what defines a team. Every team that has won a championship has a first-round pick on their team that is way exceeding his rookie contract. That is the most valuable asset. And when Cade is maxed out, Sadiq has some type of money. We don't know what that is. But, you project, and then maybe even Ivy if he becomes a max-level player worthy of that caliber. The Pistons can't get talent other than margin trades, which extra draft capital will allow us to get that role player, or you get lucky. Look at the 04 Pistons. I mean, they blew it with the pick, but they had the Darko. They had the number 2 pick when they were an Eastern Conference Finals team. That's the most valuable thing you can do. So why would you not do this? Especially when you can just do what they did with John Wall in Houston. And you can literally just say, hey, bro, just go get healthy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're really that scared of him terrorizing your team, I don't think he would ruin your team or your development at all.
I also agree with that.
If you're that worried, sit him down for a year.
Yeah, I guess in terms of, like, ruining the team, I think it would obviously slow things down a bit, just knowing how Russ is. I was already kind of mad when I wasn't mad when we got Ivy, but like that was just my argument, against it. Yeah, I want Cade with the ball in his hands. I think Cade's most efficient with the ball in his hands. JB, where you at with this one, man?
The only thing attractive about this trade is the draft picks, in all honesty. I think the Lakers eventually will get desperate enough that they will try and sit here and push whatever trade they can to get Russell Westbrook out of LA. And I mean, if we end up getting them, I mean, okay, we sell a couple jerseys and stuff like that. And let's be honest, let's be real. You're not gonna go down to LCA to see Westbrook play.
No, not this version of him.
And
I mean, I'm coming on to LCA
for all the people saying Russ is gonna come in and ruin team chemistry and burn it down. If you think these players are so mentally weak and Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey are such bad leaders that one season of Russell Westbrook would destroy team chemistry and development, then you should get off the boat now, because it'll never work out with these guys. Because if you think that one season of Russell Westbrook will completely destroy their development and team chemistry, you have no hope for them going forward at all. You have no faith in who they are as people, how mentally strong they are, and what they believe in each other. Because if you think one season of that is going to burn everything down, that's ridiculous to me.
The Russ trade ruined the Rockets.
That's different. They're competing for a championship.
Yeah, exactly. They're not a rebuilding team. They're not bringing in Russ to be that final piece. Look what it did to the Wizards. It put them in the playoffs. It did. We had this conversation before, and when you looked up the stats, you're like, damn, you're right. Russell Westbrook did put that team in the playoffs. Because he did. But I'm saying that's not his role in this team. His role in this team is to be a dead body at the end of the bench. Doesn't matter if it's Russell Westbrook. It doesn't matter who the hell it is. You're not trading for him. You're trading for the draft pick, for the asset. You bring that guy in, and he's dead at the end of the year, and you never see him again.
Yeah, I guess the things that I guess would make me lean towards it is you do get the draft capital, and I do think we'd end up back in the lottery, and I'm cool with that.
But that'll do it for today. We appreciate you guys for tapping in and watching with us tonight. You know who we are. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, live from 5 to 7 every day. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends about us.
Giving away 2 front row tickets tomorrow.
So if you kicked your coverage, upload it on Twitter, #Woodward Front Row. Send it to us. You got to be following to apply. For the man to my left, it's the one and only Speak Easy. For young sus Chris Platty, holding it down in the TD booth. Our boy JB Smooth in the audio booth on the ones and twos. I am Spencer Raxter. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.